Be'ezrat Hashem, we're back at the limud of Halachot Shabbat Siman Reish Mem Vav. We're continuing with in Tet Vav in the Sif Katan Tet Vav of Mishnah Brura, where we left off last time, where we said that a person, if a goy, Shulchan Aruch says, if a goy did not return the item before Shabbat as agreed, then you should be mafkir, you should nullify it. And the Rabbi says here, Beino leben atzmo, on the words of in Shulchan Aruch, Beino leben atzmo, between himself. What does that mean? Why is that not a problem? So explains Mishnah Brura. She'az eino mitzuveh al shvitatav, because once it's no longer belonging to him in his own mind. If an animal is not yours, then even if it's in your mind, then you know you're not commanded according to Torah to refrain from using it. By the way, today is the 10th of the Mar Cheshvan, which is Monday, the second day of the week of Parshat Shabbat Va'era. So we're continuing in the Mishnah Brura. Kivan she'ena shelo shekvar evkira. So in his own mind, since he knows that he doesn't no longer belong to him, the animal doesn't belong to him, because he nullified it from his possessions, therefore it's not a problem. Even though we say we are required to annul, to nullify something before three people. Zeo midarabanan. This is according to the sages, to the Rabbanim. Aval midoraita, afilu beino leben atzmo musagi. Rabbanan say you have to have three. Today it's even two. Most opinions. Mishnah Brura is taking the three because that's generally everybody agrees. That's called annulment. That's called notification. But however, according to Torah, once you disown something within your mind, that's already called full disownership and it's not yours anymore. Here, why is it going to work? Because technically speaking, I did not go against Rabbanan. When I rented the animal for a whole week, I made a condition that he returns it on Shabbat. But here, something happened that it was delayed. It could be that the goy did it on purpose. It doesn't matter. Once it's out of my hands, I have not caused it, so therefore I am not guilty in anything. So according to Torah, just by having in mind, even without witnesses, you just declare it to yourself, Ribono shel olam, that animal, I'm giving it as a gift to a goy. And that's it. Therefore, that will be enough sufficient to take him away from the guilt be guilty of having your animal working on Shabbat. V'ayen bebeit Yosef, and go also look at the Beit Yosef. Sheyesh poskim shesovrim degam kan bekan af shehu v'yaveh v'diavad ba'ina davka tlata. So, however, Beit Yosef says that there are poskim in the work of Beit Yosef. He does bring that require even meaning basically this will not work ever. There's no way in the world, according to those poskim, that you having annulled an item or animal and from your mind that will work. You still need three people. Therefore, a meticulous person who is very much concerned how he is serving to Hashem should be more meticulous in that. Im yesh be'efshari. If it is possible, go get three people. Today it's not a problem. You have Baruch Hashem shuls, bli ayin hara people, some very good people. Most shuls are already filled with people before even the time of prayer, right? People go and they want to look inside the Rashi. We have today, Baruch Hashem, many good wives tell their husbands, go. Before candle lighting, go just be in the shul a few minutes, learn something, come back on Shabbat and tell me something. So I'm sure if you walk to the shul, Hashem, here we had, I don't know if you saw a video of us, we had the children program, right, before Shabbat, and people were coming in already, people were streaming in. 5:05, the shul was called for 5:15, 5:05 we had at least half a minyan here already, Baruch Hashem. Because people who want. So where it's possible. So Ish Matzliach had something. Number 3, you there? The Katav Kaf HaChaim.
Yeah.
And Kaf HaChaim writes,
Alex is also here, by the way.
Where is he by you?
I'm here. On the phone.
Oh, give up. I'm very happy. Good. Baruch Hashem. וכתב הכף החיים, so too wrote כף החיים, שמחמירים ייזהרו גם כן שלא יהיו אלו השלושה קרובים ופסולי עדות. Oh, very meticulously a person should be careful that the other three people that he's getting involved here, when he tells them that the item is no longer his, he has to be more meticulous to choose three people who are not his relatives. Because relatives will not help. כדי שיהיה אחד זוכה ושניים מעידין עין שם. Now, so what was the requirement of three? The three requirements...
No matter how distant the relatives are?
Cannot be relatives that will be disqualified at the chuppah. Okay?
So how far does that go? Second cousin? Third cousin?
Chuppah usually...
Whoever can't be a witness, bro.
Whoever cannot be a witness of the chuppah, how far can it go? Third cousin usually is allowed already.
Okay.
Usually, what's the problem with the second cousin? The second cousin could inherit you. You understand? That it goes as far as the inheritance. This is the whole concern. Where does it stop? The inheritance. Wherever the inheritance stops. The third cousin, usually, second cousin, not third cousin, second cousin does not inherit in you. There's much more people before him. Again, what I call second cousin is like this. A man, having same grandfather, right? One up, those are called cousins. A third up, it's already second cousins. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the second cousin, I believe, already could be a witness because his inheritance is far-fetched. Remember,
Okay, Rabbi, and say it's a guy who has financial interest in you.
one more time?
What if there's a guy who has financial interest in you?
Again,
What if he's family, what if he's not family, but he stands to inherit?
oh, good. The rabbis didn't go that far. No. That he has financial interest in you, it's okay. He's still allowed to be testifying because remember there is a component of a neshama. He's concerned for his soul, more so than the family relatives.
Meaning, even if the person is your business partner, or
Right, he's allowed to testify against you and for you, and he could be witness at the chuppah, and no problem. Because we're talking about financial interest by default, not by choice. Okay?
Financial interest by default.
By default. Default means family relative.
He can't avoid it.
What?
Because financial interest in the way that he can't avoid it. It's not.
Right.
It's because it will come to him anyway.
That's called default, yeah. By default. If all the brothers die, if the father's people die, and he's the only relative there, he'll get all the money. By default. That's called by default. He's there, he has no choice. This guy invested money in you, so it doesn't mean that he invested money now, he's disqualified to be witness. Because don't forget, he has an element of responsibility for his neshama. So he's not going to lie.
Yeah, as long as it has to be, as long as it's a kosher witness.
Okay, he's a Jew. What? Just because he's your partner, that's it. He cannot be nowhere. I say it's many times done. Partners that testify for marriage of friends. You know what I mean? Relatives, not friends. Yes. Okay. Continuing.
Yeah.
So no, the rule is that Ish Matzliach wanted to make sure. That is, I just wanted to point out before we went to that sugya, into the discussion, the importance of three. Why this has to be three? You asked the other day. Why three? Halakha 2 is enough. You're right. But 3 is better. Why? Because like this. What happens is when I disown something, right? So the reason for 3 is one of them should be able. What is the real disownership? When one of them could say, if I'm making a claim on it, and that person who's making a claim on it needs 2 witnesses to perform that action. So that's why the halakha with that says 3. Okay?
Can you repeat that, Rabbi?
Okay. When I disown,
Go back a little bit, because
right? We discussed why we need 3 the other day. La halakha today, really, we say 2 is enough. But the best is 3. Why the best is 3? It's like this. We always have to assume when I want to annul something that other people won't. Usually people don't, I don't annul garbage. When I throw out a garbage from my house, I don't annul it. Because nobody wants it, right?
Alex, we're talking about if you're giving an animal, the goy, let's say, comes and takes the animal on Shabbat, right, Rabbi?
No, he took it on Sunday for a whole month.
He took it on Sunday, sorry, but you rented it to him for a whole month. But now somebody knows that this ox, whatever, that belongs to Alex.
Yeah. It has my emblem on it. It has my, on his neck, it's hanging. Sofer's animals.
There's a Sofer name on his neck.
Yeah.
It's going to look like Marid Ayin. People are going to see like, oh, wow, look at that. Sofer's animal is working on Shabbat.
Right. They will think I rented it on Shabbat.
But if you have 3 witnesses...
No. 1 second. Sorry, you can't say that. What happens is you made a condition with the goy that he is going to return it to you 5 minutes before Shabbat and take it 5 minutes after Shabbat. You can't trust the goy to tell him you can't use it on Shabbat. You're not allowed to. Because goy cannot be trusted. So, his word doesn't mean anything. So now, he didn't bring the animal on Shabbat. This is what we're discussing here. It's good, Zohar. If you should have told me right away that Ari is on the phone, I would have prefixed it a little bit. Okay, so now that we know that the goy is not bringing, for whatever reason is, we said last week, very important information. Am I allowed to rent out for a month? And the condition will be, every time it's Shabbat, I'm annulling it. We said, no, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot do such a business. You can't say, I'm annulling it on every Friday and I'm claiming it back on every Shabbat, every Sunday, on Motzei Shabbat. Why? Because that's trickery. Really, the Rabbanim didn't agree to that. Because, why? Because Torah obligates my animal not to work on Shabbat. Even in my own house. I cannot have animals do any labor on Shabbat. Which means if I had animals, I have a yoke on them, I have to take it off. I cannot put barrels of water on my animal to walk in from my well to the house. I can't. Not allowed to. That's working. You cannot work. Even if there is a roof, even if there is everything. You cannot do any malacha, any labor with your animals. That's called shvut on Shabbat. I'm obligated to observe that. Here, a goy rented the animal for Shabbat, but didn't have a chance to fulfill the condition, to return it before Shabbat. So what do we do? Now the Rabbanim say that in order to not to transgress a sin of having your animal work on Shabbat, annul it in your mind. But, if possible, because Bet Yosef does bring opinions which are not accepted by all means, we don't accept it as the halacha, but since they are of opinion to say that you annulling an animal in your own mind is not accepted, and it must be done before 3 people, so we say, go to shul and get 3 people. So as Ish Matzliach, be very careful. It should...
1 second, Rabbi. What am I annulling? He's supposed to give it back to me.
Right.
He didn't give it back to me. And now I'm annulling what? The receiving of it back?
No, the animal. It's no longer mine.
So then it belongs to him?
Again, it's not yours. It doesn't belong to him because after Shabbat you're taking it back from him.
How can I take back something that's not mine?
You're right. Again, for the purposes...
Because the agreement says that only on Shabbat he has to give it back.
1 second, it's past the agreement. We're talking about a situation that's past the agreement. He was supposed to, he didn't bring it. Now he's got my cow that he's going to put to work. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know.
No, but the agreement continued. No, he's still...
You have a contract with him for 30 days.
On Shabbat, yeah, agreement is for 30 days. It's every Shabbat during the 30 days, he's supposed to return the animal.
I understand Ari Lishem's trouble. I hear the problems. Hear me out for a second. Ari Lishem, when I say something is not mine, whose is it?
Hefker, somebody.
Good.
It's gotta belong to somebody. anybody.
Good. It doesn't belong to anybody. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, it's Hefker. So whoever takes the item.
The rain? No. He has to claim that it's his.
He has to claim that it is. So the goy could claim that it's his.
Goy could never own anything according to halacha.
The goy can never own anything, so he can't claim it.
He can claim it.
It's the same principle why we're allowed to take whatever the goy leaves behind. I don't have to bring him back anything.
That's right.
Hefker, it's the goy.
That's right. Exactly.
Because really, he doesn't own it in the first place.
Right. I'm not allowed to take it from him. I'm not allowed to steal from him. I'm not allowed to start wars. But halachically speaking, goy never owns anything. He cannot sell you anything. He's not allowed to give. He doesn't have it. Because remember, they ruin everything. They destroy everything in this world. There's nothing. Let's put that aside right now. That's not important to our discussion. We're saying this.
So the animal is Hefker. So
Well-
and then no Jew is going to claim it because he doesn't want the problem of Shabbat.
That's right. So as soon as Shabbat is over, you claiming it back.
So then later I can claim it because
Not later. The moment Shabbat is over, Ariel Hashem, the moment Shabbat is over, it's mine. Let's say one of those three guys wants to claim it after Shabbat, right?
According to the contract. Got it? According to the contract.
Wait. Let's say Let's say 1 minute after Shabbat, 30 seconds, 15 seconds.
No seconds. No seconds. Ariel Hashem, don't make that mistake. Don't go that path. No seconds. I don't own it during Shabbat. Right now, I don't own it. Automatically, after Shabbat, it's mine. I never get relinquished full ownership. So one of those three guys, let's say he's a wise guy, says, I want to claim it. Here I have two witnesses that this guy before Shabbat gave it away. He comes to the goy and he says, here's two witnesses.
It was after I grabbed it.
Right.
Yeah, I say it after I grabbed it.
Good. You can't acquire something on Shabbat. That's another problem.
No, right after Shabbat.
There is no. That's the whole thing. You don't have that second.
How can I not have that second?
Because as soon as Shabbat ends on itself, it's automatically. As soon as Shabbat ends, before you even open your mouth, it's back to my ownership.
How could that be if I released it? Is it standing in my property?
Oh, good. So the Chachamim say that's what you meant. We said that. That's why I'm showing you. If you were in Yud, we discussed all that. We're in number 15. The number 14 specifically deals with that. And there's the other ones cannot claim it. They can never claim it. One problem is they cannot buy it on Shabbat. They cannot acquire it on Shabbat. Now, when I am annulling it, am I annulling it before Shabbat? Technically, no. I'm annulling it for Shabbat. I'm annulling it at millisecond before Shabbat, so the person cannot claim it before Shabbat. Meaning, my annulment kicks in as soon as Shabbat gets in, and comes out as soon as Shabbat is over. How can anybody do anything?
The me getting rid of it before the millisecond before Shabbat, I get. How can, unless it's standing in my property, which it's not because he hasn't returned it to me yet.
Actually, technically speaking, 30 days that the rental was, right, according to Torah, also another rule that you have to know, maybe you forgot. The rule is when the person rents an item, the Torah, he is actually not like in America, I rent, you're fully responsible for the item. No. You rent, in the Torah is like you're paid watchman. A paid watchman is fully responsible for the item. A goy is fully responsible to return the item to me. It's mine. And when the Shabbat finishes, that second, when Shabbat, that the sunset happens, it could be before Ben Hashmashot, after whatever Hashem has in his mind, that already the ownership goes back to me without me saying anything. So technically speaking, you got to say, wait, you got to come back to me and say, so physically, and it cannot never happen that one of those three could acquire it. So how could Bichlal, the annulment, work? How can the annulment work if it's not real? Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm going to tell you.
That's right. I know that you're going to tell me that. And the Gemara knew that you were going to say that. But we are not dealing with acquiring and annulling. We're dealing to take you away from Isur Shabbat. And that's enough in itself to make you innocent from Isur Shabbat. That in itself. Right now, when it comes to Shabbat and Shamayim, in Shamayim, what are they going to say? Who the animal belongs to?
Hefker.
That's right. That's all what we need. We want to get that. When it comes to Shabbat, we don't want you to have a yoke on your head that you have an animal, sofer animal working on Shabbat. What happened? 1 second.
First them again.
Okay, so here, I'm sorry guys. Now, let's continue. We'll see more in the discussion. So we now, says the Mishnah Berurah, Val kol panim, 2 lines from the bottom, right next to number 3. Val kol panim izaher leafkira bifnei echad. However, since we agreed, even le'alacha, that you could say it between yourselves, in your mind, I'm mafkir, in order to save you from the sin of Shabbat, owning an animal Shabbat, that's working on Shabbat. However, the Rabim Migdolei Poskim Sovrim, however, many rabbis hold, Sovrim, the Av, the Oraita, and Hefker, according to Torah, it will not be Hefker, עד שיפקירה על כל פנים בפני אדם אחד, ואפילו בפני אחד מאנשי ביתו די בזה. However, according to Torah, still there will be a requirement, according to some poskim, many giants in the Torah, who require you, at least one person, to hear from your mouth, even your wife, to hear from your mouth that you're annulling this animal from your possessions. Because again, remember, what is the goal? The end result is you want to take it out of your possession. So since that there are opinions, the best of the best in front of 3 strangers, second best in front of 1 stranger, third best in front of your wife or your children, and the 4th worse already, but at least something, at least do it in your own mind this way, that you know that when it comes to the Shamayim, when it comes in the heavenly court, they will say that I didn't own it, I annulled it. Okay? That's the goal here. We don't want you to be in transgression of Isur Shabbat. Hey, listen to the Tet Zayin. Number 16 in Mishnah Berurah. What do you say? What is he supposed to say? What's the process? So the following is the process. You with me, Zohar, inside? What are the words?
Just a second. I just stepped out of the clock, man.
No problem. Tet Zayin.
Go ahead, Rambam. I'll read the rest of it.
The second line in Mishnah Berurah.
I'm listening carefully.
Good. Behemti knuya la'ena Yehudi. So Shulchan Aruch told us that he has to say that my animal is owned by a goy. What does that mean? Ayen b'magen Abraham shedato davka im omer lo bepanav behemti knuya lach. According.
How can I say that my animal is owned by a goy? The goy can't own anything.
Okay, let's see. You're right. No, I could acquire things to goy. I, as a Jew, have that power. I could say, my property goes to the goy. This goy could have it as a gift. I'm allowed to sell him. Okay?
Okay.
Good. So now the rabbi says like this. No, but according to Magen Abraham, all that we just now discussed does not work. It has to be, according to Magen Abraham, if you're telling a goy that the animal is his, and you must give it over to him in front of the goy. And there, the goy is acquiring it from you. So now, the Magen Abraham there does require, he's not one of those rabbis, he's going to tell you, no, goy could acquire, goy could own things, and you should, in order for you to break Chilul Shabbat of your animal, the goy must say, I'm acquiring it right now for Shabbat. And what? His possession. It's in his possession. So his property is owning it. אבל אם אומר כן, שלא בפניו לא קנאה, אין היהודי כלל. So Magen Abraham, Mishnah Berurah says, he disagrees with everything that we just now discussed. And he says, no, it cannot be a acquisition take place if the goy doesn't know. ואפילו אם זיכה לו על ידי ישראל אחר, גם כן לא מענה. We already have another rule.
Responsible for it.
What?
How can they? Because the goy has to be responsible for it.
But it isn't his. Hold on. Take it easy. Ariel Hashem. Hold on a second. We are right now discussing to you one opinion who is telling you it doesn't work. So let him say it all out before we ask or before we throw in our opinion. Hold on a second. Listen to this. The question is like this. ואפילו אם זיכה לו על ידי ישראל. So again, the goy is not here to acquire it, right? Says, but we have another rule. There's another rule in acquiring. Let's say Aryeh Zohar wants to give you something, right? On Shabbat. Can Zohar give you presents on Shabbat? No. Not allowed to give presents on Shabbat. Okay? So what do? But you want to give it to him. How does the Torah allow us? We have many times we have Chatan Bar Mitzvah or Chatan just got married on Shabbat in the shul, and the shul wants to give him a present, like a silver goblet or something, right? So how they giving it to them on Shabbat? Very simple. What happens is before Shabbat, you could ask another Jew who's standing in front of you. You tell him, Mister, I'm giving this cup for Ariel Hashem. Do me a favor, you acquire it on his behalf. And the Torah says that's a good kosher, that's a kosher requirement. Zachin le'adam shelo befanav. We have a rule that you could acquire something on behalf of your friend. And it totally belongs to your friend. Obviously, with the mind, what?
But then I'm responsible for it.
Yeah, again, so one second. So if such a concept exists, maybe I'll go to a Jew and say, listen, you go and acquire this for the animal, for the goy. So Rabbi says it's not going to work here. Why? גם כן לא מהני כמבואר בחושן משפט, as we already discussed over there in a different Shulchan Aruch, בחושן משפט, book סימן 243, סעיף י"ד, וכן הסכים הפרי מגדים ושערי האחרונים כמהגן אברהם. Same thing agreed, everybody in the poskim over there agreed, like Mogen Abraham. Okay? Now, Ish Matzliach here is number 4. If you take a look in our books, the Sephardim want to have an opinion here. Let's see what they say. Let's hear it. Says Ish Matzliach, Aval, again, remember the Shulchan Aruch, these are all opinions against Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch does not agree with them. So let's hear, Shulchan Aruch is Sephardi. Let's see what Sephardi rabbis have to add to this. Aval mishpat divrei maran mashma. The end tzarich b'fanav. We see that according to Shulchan Aruch, he doesn't agree not with Magen Abraham, he doesn't agree to anything that we just mentioned. He said, you don't need to do it in front of the goy. V'ayela Kaf HaChaim, and one of the Achronim, Kaf HaChaim, the giant, explains, B'Shem Matei Yehuda, in the name of Eliyahu Rabbah, and in the name of Rabbi Eliyahu Rabbah, V'ayen Od Be'arot Agram, the Halevi, okay, there's other rabbis, Shenitpesu B'Sof HaSefer. There's so many other rabbis who totally disagree with Magen Abraham, and totally disagree with this whole notion that you have to do it in front of the goy, because of that argument, what I just told you. It's a arguable position, but Shulchan Aruch takes the position, not like the rabbis who say you can't. He takes the position that the goy, that the Jew, we have the authority to acquire and to give away and not own things, by us merely just saying it. That's the strength that Hashem gave the Jews. Selfish, not selfish, it doesn't matter. Remember, the rabbis, the ones who are explaining, and Hashem gave us that full right. Remember, why? Because very simple. The goy, with all of his actions, there are almost no actions that the goy is preserving the world. The goy is unfortunately, anything that he does, even right now, take a look, we already discussed it with Yoharei Hashem. Even right now, they're trying to save the world by how? What's the means of saving the world? Depopulating. We must depopulate the world to save it. Can you understand? the wisdom of this Michiganist? Okay, Torah is totally against that. There is no such a concept. That's why. Anyway, let's continue. ופשוט אפילו באומר בהמתי כנויה לך, בעינת שיהיה לזה גם כן פסיקת דמים. דאילבכי אין זו מכירה כלל, וכן כתב בחיי אדם בכלל. Okay, even if a Jew says to another Jew, I want you to own my animal, right? That in reference to this, let's say a Jew, you know what a Jew would do if we have such a power to acquire on behalf of other people, right? What can a Jew do to hurt his brother? Let's say two brothers are fighting. What would they do? I would always acquire animals for my brother and give those animals to a goy. And what will happen? I would think that my brother would have a bank account of all the averot, right? No, it does not work like that. The acquisition only works when there is money transferring of power. So you see here, this is not a full acquisition. We don't want it to be full acquisition. We want it to be just mapik. We wanted to take it out from my possession. I'm as a Jew now in deep trouble. My animal gonna work on Shabbat? No. I want to take it out of me, take it out of my possessions, and therefore it suffices. But me within myself, even if I don't have the choices of the best elements, but me to myself, I'm also, it's okay to say that animal doesn't belong to me, according to Torah. What is that whole purpose? Says Mishnah Berurah. He explains in Yud Zayin in 17. Why we have so leniency here? He's explaining. Kedei she'inatzel, in order to save yourself, isur deoraita, which is chamur. A Torah breaking, you're going to break Torah because you own an animal? Hashem didn't give us animals for us to break Shabbat. What does that mean? Retzono lomar, that אבל לכתחילה אין לסמוך להזכיר על דת שיבקיק כשיגיע יום השבת. So again, the Mishnah Berurah says you have to understand this is all when there is no choice. You're not allowed to ever to have a havamina or to have a secondary note thought in your mind. Let me be mafkir it on Shabbat. I rent it to a goy and I'll just annul it on Shabbat. Doesn't work. Or you're going to acquire it to him. Because here still we have a problem of you, let's say you want to do every time on Friday, on Shabbat, you want to give it over to a goy. That will be a problem of what? Of people speculating your animal's working on Shabbat. So you have to do everything in your hands to make sure that the animal is in your possession on Shabbat. You can't rely on anything. Here, this is what we gave you a permission to disavow the ownership is only like again, really literally no choice. You have no choice. Literally no choice. But again, because the Jews are always right? You give him a little bit allowance, he's going to try to figure out how to rent out animals all the time like this. Remember, it's a big business renting out animals to work for Shabbat to plow in olden days, right? So if you give
today, you rent equipment.
No, equipment is not, you're not obligated to not have your equipment to work on Shabbat. Remember, equipment...
It's a live animal.
Because Torah specifically outlines the animals. Because Torah says animals are not allowed to work for you on Shabbat. Your animal. It doesn't say anything. Even if they're working for somebody else. They're not, your animal must not work on Shabbat. It has to rest. You're commanded. And your goyim, you have servants. If you can't even have a goy just to come to you on Shabbat and do malachot on Shabbat. Because, you can do it, so let the goy go do it for you. Not allowed to. Not allowed to. Again, there's a shvut. Your servants for sure not. Your children for sure not. Everybody. There's a commandment in the Torah. Everything that's alive with you is prohibited to do any work. And you're not allowed to tell a goy to do something for you. It's amirali gakum is asur. You're not allowed to tell a goy to do something for you on Shabbat. That's also asur. You're going to say, how come you see many times in the shul, we tell the goy to turn on the air conditioner, turn on the heat, right? So that's a different story because it's a gzerah. It's a gzerah. Rabbis were afraid if you're going to tell a goy to do something on Shabbat, and in the end you're going to do it yourself. So the rabbi said you're not allowed to tell a goy to do something for you on Shabbat because we're afraid that you're going to lead yourself. But when it comes to suffering of people specifically. And in many instances here in Florida, let's say your air conditioner is broken on Shabbat. Okay, it's not a small suffering, it's totally disaster. I know, I went through it a few times, unfortunately. Right? So then there's allowance to tell a goy, Habibi, because the Torah does not want you to suffer. But the Chachamim, that's the Torah. The Chachamim cannot make gzerot for you to suffer physically. So there's allowance sometimes. But to tell a goy, come to my house and clean dishes, or come wash dishes, this on Shabbat, do laundry on Shabbat, and Yom Tov, all those things are asur. Okay? Next. The halacha yudchet. So the question is now, why is this all allowed? So the rabbi says in number 18, Devadai ein kavanato. What does that mean? Ve'im rotzel yachol lehavkira lifnei shalosh davka b'shabbat. Aval b'yom tov ein adam. Okay. Devadai ehe. Says like this. Rama said, Va'afilu achi ein shum adam yachol lizakot ba. So the question is, Ari Elishen says, wait a minute. I want to know, why can't one of those three guys acquire it? So now the rabbi is going to explain to us why not. You want to hear it? Stick with me for a few more minutes.
Rabbi, I'm going to have to go in a minute.
Okay, quickly. Ritzonor Amar to explain why is that doesn't work. Shevadai lo haya bedato sheishaer hevker leolam. Because in reality, he did not annul it forever. Ki im liyom HaShabbat. It's only done for Shabbat bilvad. It's only for Shabbat. Kedei lehavkia me'alav isur Shabbat. When he annulled it, he just wants to take it out from Shabbat. Ulachar HaShabbat yachzor lishuto. It's immediately, with the ending of Shabbat, goes into his possession. אבל ביום השבת גופו בוודאי הוא הפקר גמור, וגם זה מקרה בשם הפקר. But on Shabbat itself, it's totally annulled. וכדאית בגמרא דאפילו הפקר ליום אחד, הפקר. Because the Gemara says, if you annul something for one day, it is called annulment. ואין צריך לחוש שמא יזכה באחר בשבת גופה. And you cannot, that's impossible to even contemplate that another Jew is going to acquire it בשבת. שוודאי העין היהודי לא ינחנו כל זמן שהיא תחת ידו למלאכתו. Right? The goy is not gonna disallow the animal, because remember, in goy's mind, he has to return it to you. For sure, he's gonna watch it. So there is no element of another Jew coming and claiming it. In order to claim it, he has to actually physically go and claim it. Where's the animal? By the goy's house. No Jew is gonna agree to this guy. Okay, let's go to the goy's house and claim it. I want to break Shabbat. I don't care. Where is he going to find two kosher witnesses who's going to come with him? So it's not going to happen. Therefore, it doesn't work. Here, Ari Hashem, here's the answer. You might think that he's going to acquire it by just saying the words. Not enough. He has to claim it with physical contact. Ari, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So you hear what the rabbi says? He has to claim it physically. And since he has to claim it physically, a goy is not going to let it out of his hand. It's still in goy's possession. And if you're going to tell me, okay, the guy doesn't want to keep Shabbat, he's going to bring two witnesses there. If you bring two witnesses that don't keep Shabbat, are they kosher witnesses?
No, but you can't acquire it anyway. He wouldn't be able
That's
to.
right. Yeah, fair enough. No, he wants to. No, again, he wants to break Shabbat. Breaking Shabbat, acquirement works. He broke Shabbat. He will be guilty for breaking Shabbat.
No. But how can you claim it by breaking Shabbat? You can't, because within us, I would take it away from him, or I would have him stoned.
That's right. The Beit Din will not listen. That's what.
My thing. You acquired my thing. He would say, yes, I acquired it. I said, when you acquired my thing? He said, on Shabbat. I said, okay, great, stone this guy.
Acquiring on Shabbat, maybe. I don't want to go that far.
What do you mean? It's you're either Machal Shabbat or you're not Machal Shabbat.
Is he Mechal Shabbat by acquiring? Good question. The question is he? No, what is he doing exactly? He's not really breaking Shabbat.
No, if we have a concept.
Again, he takes the animal. He takes the animal and he pulls it. I mean, if I pull an animal on Shabbat, I don't get stoned for pulling an animal. That's the Rabbanan. That's books of the Rabbanan. The Isur is working with it on Shabbat. He's not working. He's just pulling the animal by his neck.
Okay, the rabbis could beat him forever.
You're saying Makat Mardut. Okay, he doesn't care. You know what? After Shabbat he says the tshuva. I will not do it again. There's no hitting, by the way. Once he says I'm not doing it again, and he means it, he says I'm not doing it again. So the question is, did he acquire the animal? No. Why? Because the two witnesses that he brings We don't listen to the such witnesses. What do you mean on Shabbat you allow this guy to acquire? What kind of witnesses are you? Not allowed to acquire on Shabbat. So it's already there's a lot of muddy waters here.
They did nothing wrong. 1 second. If
I
they
didn't
did
say
nothing wrong,
he didn't do. Said he didn't break Isur Deoraita, but he broke the Rabbanan.
okay. Because you're saying we don't stone for the Rabbanan.
We don't, for sure not. Chas v'shalom. What are you talking?
For sure not. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can't stone him.
The guy says, "I'll take the lashes. I'll own the car. I'll own this ox." You know what this ox does, Habibi? This ox is worth $1 million, Habibi. This ox gets pregnant 100 oxen, cows a month. So it's a lot of money, Habibi.
No, but he can't steal from the guy. If the cows and the goy.
So that's the point. The guy will not give it to him. The guy will not give it to him.
No, forget about the guy won't give it to him. He can't take it without the guy's permission, and the guy, of course, is not going to give it to him because he's going to owe money for it.
Good. Ariel Hashem, hold on a second. Let's not go that far anyway. You think the guy is going to find 3 guys and he's going to find that guy who's not going to give him Shabbat? Okay, let's just put it aside. That's it. Next case. So let's just finish because Zohar has to go. Yutet.
No, but if he's not breaking Shabbat, he's not breaking Shabbat.
All right. Good. But the acquiring will not be
Or
accepted.
you're not.
But he's acquiring.
Or you're not. If it's not breaking Shabbat, why can't go and take it?
Because he's breaking the Rabbanan. Not breaking Shabbat Chayav Mitah, but he's breaking the Rabbanan. And like you said, lashes. And no 2 witnesses got to come and say we participated in that. Who wants lashes?
Nobody wants lashes.
Of course not. Why would I want it? For
You're
you.
saying they can get out of lashes by saying they're not going to do it anymore. So what does that mean? He still owns the thing.
Oh no, for sure not. But that's why the Rabbi said that it's not going to happen. It's not going to work.
So
Yeah.
he's going to get lashes until he admits that he did something wrong. Right?
Habibi, let's not hypothetical. Arya, do me a favor. It's hypothetical. It's not shayach. Let's go. Let's continue. The Rabbi said it's not going to happen. Finish.
Okay.
Good. Yutet, number 19. En adam mitzuveh. דשביתת בהמתו היא לפי מה דכתיב למען ינוח שורך בחמורך. Oh, so on Shabbat, on Yom Tov, he said, let's say you rented the animal for a month. And you told the guy to return it on Fridays, right? He's returning to you every Shabbat. You rented it for 6 months. Doesn't matter. Happened to be that there is Yom Tov in those days. So Rema says, not a problem at all. You're not obligated to make sure to get this animal back on Yom Tov, because on Yom Tov the Torah does not have Isur. There is no prohibition for your animals to work on Yom Tov. Baruch Adonai L'olam, amen. Amen. That's it. There's some machlokes about it. That's it. But the bottom line is, we're not obligated to have our animals not to work for us on Yom Tov. Therefore, if a goy keeps the animals on Yom Tov, and even if he works with it, you're not over any issue. Right, gentlemen?
Okay. Yes.
Have a
Thank you,
wonderful
Rabbi.
day.
We're gonna have to review last few minutes tomorrow. Sorry, I was distracted already a little bit here.
Okay, so maybe we'll repeat tomorrow the Yom Tov part, okay? They also need to make parnasa, lechot titparnasu benachat b'shalva, without any problems, without any tzarot, and Hashem should be matzliach darkechem.
Amen.
Kol tov.